boxes?
No, we won't do a box.
Yeah, we're not boxes. All right, stand by.
Keep me active.
They literally are, Tom. They started over at City Hall probably around 8:30 this morning. The group started out very small. It was about maybe 12 of them, and it's now increased, I would say, to about maybe 30 to 40 people. Right now, we are on South Gay Street walking towards the Inner Harbor. You could see some people there holding up signs saying, "Stand together." Now, this group here is not wanting to talk to the media. They were saying that they felt as though by talking to the media, this would incite propaganda, and that's quote for quote on their end. But again, there's about 30 of them right now walking on Gay Street towards the Inner Harbor. As we walk towards Pratt Street, you can clearly see they are walking against the traffic, trying to... They literally are, Tom. They started over at City Hall probably around 8:30 this morning. The group started out very small. It was about maybe 12 of them, and it's now increased, I would say, to about maybe 30 to 40 people. Right now, we are on South Gay Street walking towards the Inner Harbor. You could see some people there holding up signs saying, "Stand together." Now, this group here is not wanting to talk to the media. They were saying that they felt as though by talking to the media, this would incite propaganda, and that's quote for quote on their end. But again, there's about 30 of them right now walking on Gay Street towards the Inner Harbor. As we walk towards Pratt Street, you can clearly see they are walking against the traffic, trying to... They literally are, Tom. They started over at City Hall probably around 8:30 this morning. The group started out very small. It was about maybe 12 of them, and it's now increased, I would say, to about maybe 30 to 40 people. Right now, we are on South Gay Street walking towards the Inner Harbor. You could see some people there holding up signs saying, "Stand together." Now, this group here is not wanting to talk to the media. They were saying that they felt as though by talking to the media, this would incite propaganda, and that's quote for quote on their end. But again, there's about 30 of them right now walking on Gay Street towards the Inner Harbor. As we walk towards Pratt Street, you can clearly see they are walking against the traffic, trying... That is unclear. That is unclear. Again, they did not want to speak with the media. They had about a 10-minute meeting just outside of City Hall, all of them gathering, discussing amongst themselves what the plan was, or what the plan is, excuse me, in a very peaceful, quiet nature. And then they took a full lap around City Hall, and then we came up Gay Street here. And now, as you can see, we're approaching the intersection of Gay and Pratt Street. And as you know, a very busy intersection. Typically, that would be a lot of cars here. So again, we're walking against traffic. You can see a Baltimore City police officer sort of trying to take control of the situation, and we're just going to keep following them. It's unclear again where we're heading, but we're trying to keep our distance as much as possible as we walk with them at this time and use our judgment. But again, they seem to be overall pretty peaceful and sort of far cry from what we've seen over the weekend.
No peace. No peace. No peace. No peace. No peace. Police. No peace. Police. No peace. Police. These racist cops have got to go. here in the day, boys. It's our duty to fight.
Exactly. I don't know if you guys can.
It's our duty to win.
Not sure if you guys. Okay, not sure if you guys can hear me, but again, yes, you can see we're walking down Pratt Street. And we should note that this is one of several other protests that are scheduled for today. You can hear the honking of the cars here. People, most likely in support of this protest here. Of course, they are walking against the traffic, but not necessarily stopping it. And that's one thing that we should also note here. Right now, this is still Pratt Street, and they are just continuing at this time. Not at all, not at all. So now the protesters here, they are stopping traffic right here on South Calvert and Pratt Street. And things are certainly changing at this hour. So again, we had walked all the way from City Hall about a mile down and then around up Pratt Street and right here on South Calvert and Pratt. Yes, so there's one officer on a bicycle right now. All right, so it seems like things are starting to escalate at this time, right at the intersection again of South Calvert and Pratt Street. So this guy here seems to be backing up the police. Okay.
It's our duty to fight. It's our duty to win. It's our duty to fight. It's our duty to win. It's our duty to fight. It's our duty to win. It's our duty to fight. It's our duty to win. It's our duty to fight. It's our duty to win. It's our duty to fight. It's our duty to win. It's our duty to fight. It's our duty to win.
Okay. I know, some profanity. Okay. 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 All right, we'll do. I'm just trying to follow Ben, make sure we're all in the same area, but yeah, definitely.
Also, I just got the house about an hour and a half ago. First time out for me in 3 years, 4 months, 9 days. See this? Like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
I wonder if Amy could bring us a battery. Like, we're good right now, but I feel like if we're gonna keep going.
Okay. Should we, you want me to call her?
Yeah, can you call her? Just
Yeah.
tell her we're around the corner of Calvert and East Pratt.
Okay.
We're good for like the next 20 minutes or so, but
Okay.
I'm really worried if we're gonna keep going all over Baltimore.
Yes, sir.
Maybe just share your location with her or something.
Yes.
Hey, so we're marching with these. Hold on. Okay, sounds good. Hey, we're walking. Do you think you can give us a battery? Meet us over here. Yeah, if possible. I know these protesters are going against the cars and blocking traffic. Okay. All right. Okay, just keep me posted. All right.
I love you, man. What's that?
Yes, yes, Patrice, I can hear you guys. So right at that point, police had de-escalated the situation, had told the protesters to then move to the sidewalk so that way cars will be able to. So you guys, so the protesters could be able to move on. The cars can also move on as well. But right now we are on Pratt Street, and you could see they are standing right in the middle of the streets. Cars being forced to merge into just one lane. The protest started right at City Hall at around 8:30. It was about maybe 12 of them, and you could see it grew into this. It's about 30 people at this time standing right in the middle of Light Street and Pratt Street. They walked down towards Gage Street and made a right up this way, again against traffic. So what you're seeing right now are cars being forced into just one lane to try and get around them. Overall, I mean, despite that one incident just down the street from where we were, it's been a relatively peaceful, if you will, protest. And what I mean by that is, I mean, certainly far cry from what we've seen over the weekend where things got very violent, but they are chanting and holding up signs, also reading the names of African Americans who have lost their lives as a result of what they're saying is police brutality. So again, what you're seeing right now is that. So it seems as though that he is trying to tell them to turn a blind eye to all the other negativity that is happening around them. It's a little hard for me to hear as well as I'm trying to merge in and out of traffic that is going right behind us here. So now he's... That's correct. That's what it appears to be at this hour. They have not discussed anything with the protesters except trying to direct traffic in a safe manner at this time. So I'm going to go and step out of the way as cars are now approaching us for safety reasons. But again, you can see we are walking against the traffic, no longer stopping it, but going right through it at this time. Now, Yes, I can hear you guys. It still seems like it's the same group that had gathered initially in front of City Hall. So initially, about that 30 or so people, again, walking at this hour, still on Pratt Street. We don't know where they're going specifically, but you could see everyone holding up signs, reading the names of people who have lost their lives as a result to police brutality, specifically African Americans. And police, they are following us. In fact, before you just asked me this question, there was a Baltimore City police officer who was asking me, where is this group going? Do we even know? So it appears as though they're not being, of course, transparent with their end destination and also where they're actually ending up going at this point. But we're just going to keep following them. Mm-hmm. So it appears as though this group is separate from the group that we've been talking about earlier this morning. We've been showing you that flyer, the Baltimore Block group, and they're going to be protesting at 4 o'clock this afternoon. We had just gotten word about this specific protest literally minutes before it started. We saw some posts on social media about it, and of course, you know, we congregated and waited around City Hall to see when these people would actually meet up, but it's unclear who they're specifically associated with and if they're even associated with that group that's supposed to be protesting at 4 o'clock today. Again, you can hear the honking of the horns, people honking in solidarity, appears like, with this group here as they continue to march the streets of downtown Baltimore. As you know, this is a very busy area typically, specifically before the pandemic. You know, this is just a very busy area in general. So we know that during rush hour, it would be filled with a lot more cars than you're seeing now. But it seems as though Baltimore police are trying to reroute traffic for safety reasons. And again, we're just walking with the group here.
Hands up! Hands up! Hands up!
So now we are on South Howard Street. Yep, turning towards Camden Yards, just right now, past the convention center, past the light rail station. This is was it 395 is just down the street from us, about a quarter of a mile or so, if you will. And of course, that's a busy stretch of highway there. Yeah, she's been.
Yeah, I think I'm good for another 30 minutes.
Okay.
But if it just keeps going.
Hey, sorry about that. I was on the air when you called. Okay. Hey. Pastor West.
Oh, shoot! Police!
Pastor West.
Police! Police!
Okay. Do you mind texting that to me? I think I got it, but just in case. All right. I appreciate it. Okay. Okay. Cool. So it looks like they're about to go up 395. Yep, we got it. Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay.
Everybody up there that don't understand why we out here. When people don't know why we woke up this morning to come out here, we got a list for them. We had lieutenants read this very same list just the other day, Saturday, to make sure they know the names of the people in the block. Y'all ready? We're gonna get it after it says something. Y'all ready? First name. Next 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 name.
Hey guys, so what you are seeing right now are the protesters, the same group that we've been following since City Hall, reading off the list of names of people who were killed by police brutality. Let's take a listen.
Next name. Randy Evans. Next name. Clifford Glover. Another name. Samir Rice. Another name. Yvonne Smallwood. Another name. Tanisha Anderson. Another name. Alonzo Smith. Another name. Austin Sterling. Another name. Mike Brown. Another name. Stephon Clark. Another name. Michael Brown. Another name. Martin G. Another name. Another name. Corey Jones. Another name. Randy Clay. Another name. Tony Robinson. Another name. George Floyd. Another name. George Floyd.
Tyrone West! Tyrone West! Tyrone West!
Listen, Tyrone West. We understand we can say many more names that belong on this list. That's no doubt. Like Corey Gaines, who was killed here in Baltimore County, rather, in the hands of police. There's a lot. Listen, y'all, we're not saying that this list make up the names of all of them victims of police brutality. There are so many people that didn't make this list, that are out there in families are grieving and standing with us. The reason why so much rage much frustration is because there are invisible victims out here. We can't see them because the camera didn't catch them yet. But they out here, so we're not excluding nobody from this list. That's why we all out here. Nobody's excluded from the list. But if we had it, we would back 95 up with all the victims.
Come back, come back.
Okay, so what you're seeing right now, we think is Pastor West from Faith Empowered Ministry, and we are here on at the end of 395, just on Conway Street, outside of Camden Yards, and you could see police just on the other side of us have shut down traffic because of this, of course for safety reasons, but you can see all the protesters here kneeling. We've been following them since they started at City Hall at around 8:30 this morning. So, okay, so it appears as though we're turning around the opposite direction, walking towards the Baltimore Convention Center at this time. Okay, so it looks like they're just trying to figure out a plan.
We want to move out the way. We out here, not disrupt. We want y'all to understand why we out here. Am I right, y'all?
Yes.
We want them to understand why we out here. Am I right?
You're right.
So my question is, can you name, and we don't mind letting this traffic go, but can you name somebody on this list to let us know that you got some empathy, or that you can you understand why we're here today, that we're not just out here just to be out here, but we're out here because there's serious issues. Can I ask you, officer, your lieutenant did it for us. I'm asking you, can you have some empathy in your heart today? And can you honestly look at this list and call a name on this list, at least a name on this list? Because there's some family that's hurting over this constant issue in our country of police brutality. My question is, can you give me a name? Can you give me a name? Let's go. It's on you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that. We ain't out here to disrupt our city. We just want our voice to be heard. And I appreciate you 1,000 for at least having the courage to say one name. Come on, y'all, we going. Let's go. We gone. No justice.
All right, well, as you saw, a pretty powerful exchange there between who we believe is Pastor West and a Baltimore City police officer, as he was asking the officer to at least read off one of the names that was on that list. Again, a list of people, African Americans, who have died, sadly, as a result of police brutality. So now the group, the 30 or so people who we've been walking with since City Hall, we're now walking on the other side of the Baltimore Convention Center, approaching Sharp Street. Again, it's unclear where they're going or what the end result is, but we are continuing to follow them as they march down busy streets. Of course, shutting down traffic, having cars to detour around them, and overall it does appear to be pretty calm, relatively, again, and what I mean by that is it's far cry from what we've seen over the weekend, where we've seen violence ensue as a result of these protests.
Let them stop saying it. Let them stop saying it. We've been saying it. We know who they are. We want them to let us know
Hey, Reverend
they are
West.
conscious. They know who they are.
Reverend West,
They woke.
Elijah Westbrook here with...
I'm good, buddy. I'm good.
Can I
I'm
just
only
ask-
I'm only speaking to black media. Thank you. I'm only speaking to black media. Well, this is. If you want to get your feed, get it through his feed. Get it through him.
Could you
Thank
at least
No,
tell us the significance
get your information
of.
from him. Full strength.
All right, well.
Information from Larry Wallace.
All right, well, as you.
Full strength. Full strength. Full strength. Thank you, Larry. Our streets. Anytime, man. Always, always. Full strength. Full strength. Full strength.
Yeah, and then they've been, pretty quiet, if you will, about, again, where they're going, talking to the media. Earlier we heard them say that they did not want to talk to us because of quote-unquote propaganda. And as you just heard just now live on the air, they don't want to talk about... They don't want to talk to the anyone who's not associated with the black media. So again, what you're seeing right now are these people here protesting, again, walking down the street, and it's unclear again where they're going at this point.
Peaceful protest, make sure you get that.
Let them catch up. Stronger together.
Okay. Okay. Definitely. Okay. 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 You got it. Yep. Okay.
Do you know if Amy and Rachel are going to come?
Amy gave me the battery.
Oh.
Yeah. When
Wait,
you
change that real quick.
Yep.
All right, here.